Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Gundam News. And as always, a new month means a new Gunpla schedule. And in terms of quantity, we do have quite the lineup. On the 11th, we are getting 2 kits from Gundam Build Metaverse. For 2,640 yen, 18 US, there is the Shin Burning Gundam, which uses polarized resin for many of its clear parts, turning this thing into quite the eye-catching model. And for 1,980 yen, 13 US, there is the SD Gundam Cross Silhouette F Kunoichi Kai. A relatively expensive SD figure, model kit that comes with some nice gimmicks. There's removable armor, somewhat transformable weapons, 2 different frames to go with your preferred super deformed proportions, and the ability to part swap with BB Senshi Gunpla. Then we go to the 18th with the high-grade Jim, shoulder cannon / missile pod version. But for 2,530 yen, 17 US, we are getting so much more than the title would lead you to believe. There are 2 types of beam spray gun, a beam rifle, a bazooka, 2 beam sabers with effect parts and a storage rack, hip-mounted missile launchers, a shield, and of course the shoulder cannon and backpack-mounted missiles from the name of the model kit. This thing really comes packing, and it's not just packing for itself, it's got more than enough accessories for an entire squad. And then finally on the 25th, there is the SDW Heroes Goku Impulse Gundam and Sun Zung Strike Freedom Gundam set for 1,650 yen, 11 US. And continuing with the Gunpla news, the Master Grade Mission Pack A and L were announced for the Gundam F90. The A stands for Assault and comes with a high mobility backpack that also has some guns on it, extra propellant tanks for the arms and legs, a beam bazooka, and spare energy packs for that beam bazooka. The L then stands for Long Range and comes with extra sensors, a shoulder-mounted beam saber rack, arm-mounted missile launchers, a long rifle that can fire both solid rounds and beam rounds, 1 spare magazine of solid rounds, 2 spare energy packs, and a backpack that has a thermoscope. And all of this can be yours for 2,750 yen, 18 US in February. And what I find kind of funny about this set is that the A and L packs did already receive a model kit in the past, but this time around, Bandai actually took quite a while to release them. Oh, and of course, these are Premium Bandai Limited. And talking about Premium Bandai Limited, the Master Grade Kempfish, the first Witch from Mercury Mobile Suit expansion part set, and the Figurized Standard Suleta with the standard uniform got another wave of pre-orders on Japanese P-Bandai. Over at the Gundam base Tokyo then, they're trying out something very interesting. From November the 3rd to the 17th, they're going to be selling surplus Gunpla runners. There are runners for 110, 220, and 330 yen each, so less than $1, $2, and $3 respectively, and each person can buy up to 30 runners. So this could be a potential goldmine for Gunpla builders, and I can imagine a lot of people are going to be digging through these on the first days to try and find the best ones. Because not all Gunpla runners are created equally. Think, for example, a Master Grade or a Real Grade. Especially for the modern ones, almost every part of a mobile suit uses so many different pieces from different runners that there's not much you can do with just one runner. But when it comes to high grades, and especially if you're looking for high grade weapons, you can have one runner with 1, 2, or even 3 weapons on that single runner. Or maybe there's one unimportant piece missing that you can work around somehow. If I was in Japan right now, I would be there on November the 3rd at opening time. There is one caveat though. You do have to be a registered Gundam base member. Now, in the past, you were able to become one by just like filling out a form at the store, if I remember correctly, because I'm fairly certain that's how I registered. But I think they might have changed that, and you now like have to register through the official website, which I will have linked down below. Like, you should be able to get through that with Google Translate. If you're in Japan during that time and you want the runners, I highly recommend you to at least try it. And somewhat related to the Gunpla news then are the Cucuruz Doan's Island clear sheets that go for 3,520 yen, 23 US for the full set, and Cucuruz Doan's Island cutter mats that go for 1,100 yen each, 7 US, with the available designs being the Gundam and Doan's Zaku. Meanwhile, on the figure front then, we also got some cool new announcements, with some very good news for the Age fans out there. On Wednesday, pre-orders went up for the P-Bandai Limited Metal Robot Spirits Age Effects for 19,800 yen, 131 US. And what's really cool to see is that they really went all out with its signature weapons, the sea funnels. In addition to just being removable, there's 6 different effect parts to display them in like various formations, and also 2 arms to put those formations wherever you want them to be. The other accessories then are its transformable beam rifle, 2 beam sabers, dedicated action base, a lot of hands, and a cockpit for the core fighter to parts form. And all of this will come dashing your way in May, which is also when we'll be getting the next Gundam Universe lineup. And fittingly enough, this new set was announced on Halloween, and basically every single mobile suit in it is very much Halloween themed. For 3,300 yen a piece, 22 US, there is the Dead Scythe Hell Endless Waltz version with its beam scissors, which is, I mean, basically the quintessential Halloween Gundam. Then there's the Banshee Norn with a shield, beam magnum, and beam saber. And while the Norn itself isn't necessarily linked to Halloween, its colors are definitely very Halloween-esque. And then finally there is the Calibarn, a mobile suit that is piloted by a witch, and its main weapon is a broomstick. Perfect for Halloween. But of course, it wouldn't be a Gundam Universe lineup without some wacky proportions. The Calibarn has some seriously chonky ankle armor, and the calves of the Dead Scythe Hell are absolutely massive. Someone did not skip leg day. Less good news then comes to us from the gaming front, because this week it was announced that the Iron-Blooded Orphans G application will be closing down. And of course, part of this application was Iron-Blooded Orphans Urdr Hunt. The application should have been celebrating its first anniversary on the 15th of this month, but instead, the store and subscription service were shut down on October the 31st, and on January the 11th, the game will be shutting down completely. This has not been a good year for Gundam games, to say the least. But when it comes to Urdr Hunt, to be honest, I'm also not super surprised. The idea for this game first came about when Iron-Blooded Orphans was airing, so that was back in 2015 and 2016, after which it was stuck in development hell for years. And then when it finally did come out, there was very little fanfare about it. The promotion wasn't great, the IBO hype train had slowed down significantly, and from what I remember, it just kinda appeared. Suddenly, it was just out, and everyone was like, oh, well, I guess it's out now. Not to mention then that it also had to go up against other Gundam mobile games like the extremely popular Gundam Breaker Mobile. Because I don't know about you guys, but I barely have enough time to keep up with one mobile game, let alone like 2 or 3, which is of course the inherent problem with mobile games and live services. They're all competing for your time, so in a sense, Bandai was competing with itself by having like 5 Gundam services going on at once. I think it's fair to say now that in the West, all eyes are going to be on UC Engage and the upcoming G Generation Eternal. UC Engage has done well so far in Japan, and my first impressions of Eternal were positive, but as always, only time will tell. However, it wasn't all bad news on the gaming/application front this week. The Gundam Metaverse is, of course, Bandai's big ongoing Gundam project that they've sunk a lot of money into. So far, with very little result, because there is literally almost nothing to do there. But suddenly, out of nowhere, Tamashii Nations dropped an application that I think is potentially better than the Metaverse. I know, a very brave and hot take. So, one of the big selling points of the Metaverse were those 3D scanned Gunpla, the ability to look at some 3D retail Gunpla, and the ability to view 3D dioramas. So, you could like look at them, but you couldn't actually do anything with them. Introducing Digi-Fig, a simple yet in-depth diorama creation application using Tamashii Nations action figures. At the moment, 18 figures are available, some being free, some being paid, and just like their action figure counterparts, you can move every part of their body and put them in just the pose you want. You can then also change the background or have no background at all with the AR function. Then you can save that diorama and even share it on the built-in social media platform. So I guess that if you really want to, you could call this thing a metaverse as well. But whatever you want to call it, you can also look at your figures from whichever angle you want, including with your phone's built-in gyroscope. So in their words, you can get the experience of like actually looking at the real figure. And of course, there is a gachapon system in the game application where you can win effect parts, backgrounds, scenery to put in the backgrounds, and even figure parts. Basically, as soon as I saw this, my reaction was simply this. This is what Bandai should have done with Gunpla for the Metaverse. This. Give people the ability to play around with digital Gunpla for free in an amazing program that allows you to create dioramas simply, which then leads to people wanting to buy the physical things. And some of the example dioramas that they're showing are actually really impressive. I am really looking forward to seeing where this application goes, and of course, what kind of grunts they're going to be throwing into this program. Because honestly, I can see myself killing some time creating a little gym army diorama in this thing. The only downside is that it is, of course, limited to Japan, and because it's such a niche application at the moment, I've also not been able to find the APK. And to wrap up the Gundam news then, in Gundam Battle Operation 2 for PlayStation, the Juric has become available. To celebrate the release of Gundam Seed Freedom then, Animate will be selling a variety of goods from January the 26th until February the 25th. You can get a very fancy Kira, Lacus, Kigali, Atherin, Shin, Lunamaria, Izak, or Diarca on an acrylic stand for 1,980 yen, 13 US, a can batch set of 2 for 1,100 yen, 7 US, a clear file for 440 yen, 3 US, and a blanket for 4,400 yen, 29 US. Then there's also 4 types of acrylic art panel for 2,200 yen each, 15 US, more acrylic stands for 1,980 yen, 13 US, 8 types of mini shikishi for 440 yen each, 3 US, and 7 types of acrylic sheet for 550 yen, 4 US. And for every 1,100 yen you spend, 7 US, you'll get a random bromide of Kira, Lacus, Kigali, Atherin, Shin, Lunamaria, Izak, or Diarca. And in other news then, a new Bandai Gachapon store has opened up in Shizuoka's main Surigaya store. The artwork for the 3rd Blu-ray and DVD set of Witch from Mercury's 2nd season has been released. From November 10th until December 25th, Christmas will be coming early to Diver City Tokyo Plaza with a giant 6-meter Christmas tree, various Gundam Seed themed decorations, and a Gundam lottery to win some Gundam trinkets or coupons. And another thing that they're doing over there is the Tokyo Gundam English Guide event, which is part of the overarching Tokyo Gundam Project 2023 to attract more visitors to the area. And the aim of this most recent event is to both attract English-speaking tourists and to encourage the youth of Japan to speak more English. And if you want to go on one of these guided tours, the dates are on screen right now, and I will have the official website's link down below, but at the moment of recording, I couldn't find any actual information on how you're supposed to actually join these tours. I was able to find some information in Japanese on how to become a guide on one of these tours, but not on how to join them. And that's not the only Gundam project that made the news this week. There's also this long-term project called Gundam Open Innovation. Basically, it focuses on bringing things from the Gundam anime to life in cooperation with various companies. Things like colonies and beam technology. Normal stuff. And this week, 2 new companies have decided to jump on board. iSpace, which might sound like it has something to do with the Metaverse, but is actually a Japanese company specializing in technology for robotic spacecraft, and Mitsubishi Heavy Industries. I think they're preparing to make an actual Gundam. The Mobile Suit Girl of the week then is the Zeong Girl, who decided to skip leg day and replace it with yet another arm day, because just look at those arms. They're bigger than than the main unit itself, which is the Dom Girl, by the way. In terms of weapons, it comes with 2 5 multi-launching Mega Beam cannons and 2 laser beam artillery cannons. As for the things you could get this week then, on Friday you could get the 2nd volume of Witch from Mercury's 2nd season on Blu-ray and DVD. On Monday you could do some early Christmas shopping with the Mobile Suit leg boots and Gunpla round boxes. The boots go for 1,320 yen each, 9 US, and are available in RX-78-2 or Char Zaku flavor. Both come with the same assortment of snacks and a shield tin for the Gundam boot and a drum magazine tin for the Zaku boot. For the round boxes then, for 1,760 yen, 12 US, you can get the clear colored SD Gundam X Standard Ariel, which comes with a Soletta and Ariel rebuild themed package of corn potage snacks, and for 2,420 yen, 16 US, you can get a box with the entry grade Strike Gundam recirculation color / neon with a Zaft and Omni themed package of corn potage snacks. And I've already pointed it out before, but I'm going to point it out again here. The weapon that this version of the Strike comes with isn't its regular beam rifle, but instead the shotgun from the Din, which it did use at one time in the anime. And finally today, the sheet music to play Witch from Mercury's main theme as an orchestra was released for 12,100 yen, which is like 80 to 90 US, as well as a bunch of China limited Gunpla. For 4,200 yuan, which is 574 US, before you try to import the damn thing, there is the Master Grade Extreme Strike Freedom Gundam Midnight Coding version, which asks your wallet the very important question: it's cool, but is it $574 cool? For 400 yuan then, 55 US, there is the Master Grade Freedom Gundam version 2.0 Cross Contrast / Clear Blue. And I gotta admit, usually I'm pretty critical or extremely neutral when it comes to clear kits, but this thing does actually look really cool. I just think someone left it in the freezer for too long. What I wasn't a fan of at first then was the Master Grade Justice Gundam Cross Contrast Color / Clear Yellow. My first impression was more but now I actually do kinda like it. The colors definitely did grow on me. And this thing can be yours for 420 yuan, 57 US. 435 yuan then, 59 US, gets you this fiery Master Grade Providence Gundam, Cross Contrast Colors Clear Red. Again, a mighty fine looking thing, and it also contrasts very well with its main rival, the Blue Freedom. Good luck getting them though, for a reasonable price. For this week's reading material then, there was the 22nd issue of Big Comic Superior, in which Gundam Thunderbolt is being serialized, and the 6th chapter of the Battle Tales of Flanagan Boone has been released for free online and is linked down below. On to this week's Gundam Apparel then, where Bunkure did the laundry last week Friday with these Haro laundry nets. The available designs are OG Gundam Green or Gundam 00 Orange, and they go for 2,750 yen each, 18 US. And to go along with them, the Gundam, Char Zaku, Regular Zaku, Goof, Dom, Char Zagok, Regular Zagok, Gyan, and Zok laundry bags are getting a restock for 1,540 yen each, 10 US. All of them are slated for a December release and will be perfect for washing your new Gundam PJs. For 13,200 yen, 88 US, you can get a short-sleeved version styled after either Astacasia's Holder uniform or regular uniform, or you can go for a long-sleeved version styled after Amro's or Char's uniform. And these will be giving you sweet dreams in February, which is also when this fancy new Char-inspired handbag will be releasing. It's released in collaboration with this company, and will set you back 7,700 yen, 51 US. Next up on Wednesday, we got some Gundam Unicorn things. A Vis Foundation tie for 4,950 yen, 40 US, and standard sized and big sized acrylic stands of some of the main characters. They go for 1,320 yen, 9 US, and 2,750 yen, 18 US respectively, and the available characters are Benager, Audrey, Riddy, Marita, Full Frontal, and Angelo. And today then, Bunkure went back to the 90s with a Rolina Peacecraft and Aina Sahalin collection. Although for Aina, the design does feel like it's straight out of the 80s, in all of the best ways. Also, they spelled her name Sakhalin instead of the more common Sahalin. So, you can get the Neon Zaku design on a black t-shirt for 4,400 yen, 29 US, a tote bag for 2,750 yen, 18 US, and a face towel for 2,200 yen, 15 US. You can get the pocket watch design then on a white t-shirt for, again, 4,400 yen, 29 US, a bath towel for also 4,400 yen, 29 US, and a mug for 1,980 yen, 13 US. And both designs are of course available as an acrylic stand for another 1,980 yen each, 13 US. Relina, meanwhile, has a design that incorporates her signature braids, and you can get that design on the same items for the same prices. A black or white t-shirt, tote bag, bath towel, face towel, mug, or acrylic stand. And all of these Bankura items are slated for a December release. From Strict G then, these typography tote bags went up for sale on Tuesday for 2,200 yen each, 15 US. And they really have some amazing text on them from their respective series. From Hathaway's Flash, there is Hounds in Flight 356. From Iron-Blooded Orphans, Iron Flower That Never Dies. From Unicorn, The Beast of Possibility. From Witch from Mercury, if you run, you gain 1. If you move forward, you gain 2. And I kept the best for last. From the original Gundam series, the lack of salt will affect our combat performance. The perfect quote to put on a Gundam shopping bag. And if you want to wear something cool while you're shopping, today pre-orders went up for these Amuro or Char inspired B3 flight jackets that go for 41,800 yen each, 278 US, and the Hiro Yui Endless Waltz collection. Here you've also got a fancy jacket, this time the N2B model that goes for 55,000 yen, 366 US, and it also comes with an acrylic stand of Hiro himself wearing the jacket. And considering the fact that his main machine is the Wing Zero Custom, this floofy jacket really is the perfect match for Hiro. There's even some feathers flying around on the acrylic stand. The other items in this collection then are a white t-shirt with the Endless Waltz logo, a navy t-shirt with the Dead Scythe Hell, a white long sleeve t-shirt with the Wing Zero Custom About to Shoot, or a black long sleeve t-shirt with the Altron for 4,730 yen each, 31 US, and a white zip-up hoodie with the Wing Zero, again About to Shoot, or a black one with the Altron Gundam for 10,230 yen each, 68 US. And then let's quickly wrap things up with the polls. Because it was Halloween this week, Gundam.info wanted to know who the best Gundam Trickster is, and the results were pretty unanimous. LP Puru managed to get over half of the votes, leaving all of the other characters in the dust. Saisachi got second place with 24.7%, Al from 008 came in third with 14.3%, and Let's from the original series is last with only 9.2%. And that has been all for this week's Gundam news. As always, a big thank you to the Patreon supporters. I wish everyone watching a happy belated Halloween, and I'll see you all next week with more Gundam news.